Okay, let's talk about two of the most powerful AI research tools out there right now, Google's NotebookLM and Atypica. They're also, honestly, two of the most confusing. I get asked all the time if they're competitors or if they're meant to work together. Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to clear this up once and for all.
So here's the big question on everyone's mind. Are these tools rivals? Do you have to pick one and ditch the other? Or is there a much smarter way to look at this? Getting this right is about more than just picking some software. It's about fundamentally changing your research strategy for the better.
And to be fair, I totally get why there's confusion. I mean, you look at them on the surface and they seem almost like twins. They're both powered by AI, they can both help create audio, and they both promise to make your research way, way faster. So yeah, it's really easy to think they're just two companies fighting for the same spot. All right, here's our game plan to get you from that state of confusion to absolute clarity. First, we'll look at why they seem so similar. Then, we'll reveal the one huge difference between them. We'll use a simple analogy to make it stick, walk through a real-world example, and then wrap it all up with a new playbook you can start using like tomorrow. Okay, first things first. Let's really dig into why these two platforms feel so interchangeable. The confusion really comes from how they're marketed. But as soon as we peel back just one layer, we find the single question that separates them completely. And this, right here, brings us to the fundamental difference. And listen, it has nothing to do with fancy features. It's all about their core purpose. One is built for synthesis, and the other is built for execution. Once you get this one distinction, everything else just clicks into place. If you only take away one single thing from this entire explainer, please make it this quote. NotebookLM is designed to answer what's in this document I already have. It synthesizes knowledge you possess. Atypica, on the other hand, asks, but what would actual users think about this? It goes out into the world to find insights you absolutely do not have yet. This table just lays it all out perfectly. Look at the inputs. NotebookLM needs your documents, your PDFs, your reports. Atypica? It just needs your questions. The knowledge source for NotebookLM is only the files you upload. For Atypica, it's brand new conversations with AI personas. And that means the outputs are worlds apart. NotebookLM gives you an explanation of what you have, while Atypica delivers brand new insights from scratch. Now, to make this even easier to remember, let's use a super simple analogy that's going to stick with you: the librarian and the detective. I want you to think of NotebookLM as the absolute best librarian you've ever met. You hand it a giant stack of books, all your reports and articles, and it instantly organizes cross-references and explains everything inside. Atypica, though, that's the detective. It doesn't stay in the library, it hits the streets, talks to witnesses, and finds new clues to answer questions that aren't written down anywhere. So when do you call the librarian? You bring in NotebookLM when you are literally drowning in documents and just need to know what they say, fast. It's amazing for synthesizing a bunch of different sources, getting new team members up to speed on old reports, or when your budget is super tight because its free tier is incredibly generous. And when do you hire the detective? Well, you use Atypical when the answer you need simply doesn't exist in a document anywhere. You need to test out a new product idea. You have to validate a big strategic bet, or you just need to understand the why behind your user's behavior. It's for generating net new information and doing it really, really fast. Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does this look like in the real world? Let's walk through a quick case study from a healthcare software company to see how these two tools can work together just brilliantly. So here was the problem, and the stakes were super high. A software company wanted to jump into the healthcare market, but they had this massive, expensive question hanging over their heads. Should we spend a ton of money building special healthcare features before we even have a single customer? You can imagine, a wrong guess here could cost them millions. So instead of a slow, painful, months-long research project, they ran a hybrid 10-day sprint. And check out the flow here. They started with NotebookLM, the librarian, to synthesize all the existing market reports. Then they used Atypica, the detective, to go find the missing pieces. And to wrap it all up, they used NotebookLM one more time to combine everything into the final report. This slide really brings it all home. NotebookLM, our librarian, quickly answered the first question. What does all the existing research say about this market? But it couldn't answer the most important question. For that, they needed Atypica, our detective, to find out, okay, but how would real healthcare CIOs actually react to our product and our pricing? Now, let's talk about the numbers, because this is just wild.
The budget for a traditional research project like this was $8,000. The total cost for this powerful hybrid workflow, $329. No, that's not a typo. Just let that sink in for a second.
And what about the time it took? A traditional approach would have been 4 to 6 weeks, easy. This hybrid sprint, they got their strategic answer in just 10 days.
Let me put that another way. This hybrid approach got them the insights they needed 90% faster than traditional qualitative research. A project that usually takes over a month was done in less than 2 weeks. And that budget we talked about, that $329 cost, adds up to an almost unbelievable 93% cost reduction. I mean, this isn't just a small improvement, this is a complete reinvention of how research gets done.
So what does this all mean for you? Let's take everything we've just learned and boil it down into a simple, actionable playbook that can take you from confusion to a rock-solid strategy.
Here it is, your new 3-step hybrid workflow. It's so simple. Step 1, synthesize what you already know with NotebookLM. Step 2, go discover what you don't know with Atypical. And step 3, combine all of it, the old and the new, with NotebookLM to create one final, super impactful report. It's librarian, then detective, then librarian again. The implications of this are just massive. That slow, painful 8-week research project, it's basically a thing of the past. The case study we saw took 10 days, but with this playbook, you could easily turn that into a repeatable 6-day cycle. You're not waiting around for weeks anymore. You can make this a constant part of how you operate. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. This isn't just about doing the same old work faster. When you can compress an 8-week project into just 6 days, you fundamentally change what is even possible for your team. So the real question I want to leave you with is this: what new strategic opportunities are you going to chase with all the time you get back?